Hello and welcome to Math Lessons with Linda. Today's topic is how to add and subtract rational expressions. And here's our problem today. X over x minus 2 take away 8 over x squared minus 4. Recall that if you have fractions of any kind, whether or not they have variables in them, before you can add or subtract, you have to find a common denominator. For a polynomial rational expression, you want to make sure that your denominators have been factored so that you can determine what the LCD or the least common denominator would be. In our first fraction, x minus 2 is in fully factored form, but in our second fraction, x squared minus 4 can be factored into x minus 2 and x plus 2. So we notice that they both have in common the x minus 2. We definitely need to use that one time as part of our common denominator. But since this fraction also has x plus 2, we have to include that as part of our LCD. So what that means is this second fraction is fine just the way it is. We have to change the first fraction so that it has the same denominator, which in this case means we need to have x plus 2 as part of the denominator here. So if we're going to do that, that means that we also have to multiply the numerator of this fraction by the same value, because multiplying by the same polynomial in the numerator and denominator is just an equivalent value of 1. So we're not changing the value of our fraction, we're just changing how it looks. So now I've got x times x plus 2 here. I now have the x plus 2 and the x minus 2. The second fraction is going to remain exactly the same. So now I'm going to distribute through here, and I get x squared plus 2x. And since I have the same denominator, I can combine these now into one fraction. So I'll have x squared plus 2x and then take away my 8. And in the denominator, this is my new common denominator. I can just write as one fraction. Now, it may look like you're finished, but what you should also look for is to see, can I factor the numerator and then simplify it with something that's in my denominator? And in this case, we can do that. So I'm going to factor the numerator into x plus 4 and x minus 2. That's how I factor this trinomial. And here's my denominator. So now what I'm going to do is look for a common factor that's both in the numerator and the denominator and cancel it out. And they each have an x minus 2, so I can cancel those out. So now I'm left with x plus 4 and x plus 2. That is my final answer in simplified form. And that is how I subtract two rational expressions.